Amy Downs and Alan Hill will be forever united by the Oklahoma City bombing. Amy was working at the Federal Employees Credit Union at the Murrah building when the bomb went off. Alan was a firefighter who was among the first responders to the disaster. She was trapped in the rubble for 6 hours. He was her rescuer.
I was sitting at my desk, which was just a few feet from the front glass windows. And, if I would have walked over there and looked out of the window and looked down, I would have seen the Ryder truck. So I'm sitting there, and a coworker of mine comes in. She's 7 months pregnant. She sits down. I take a phone call, and I'm getting ready to turn to say, "Hey, what do you need?" And I don't know if the words came out or not, because that's when it happened. And I just heard and felt this powerful noise and rushing sensation, and I knew in that instant that my life was over. My first thought was, I've been shot in the back of the head and I'm dying, I'm falling, and I was falling 3 floors. I could hear people screaming all around, and I knew the building was coming down. I don't know what it is, I can't see anything. It's pitch black, it's dark. I'm immediately buried under several feet. My initial thoughts were actually that I was dead.
We didn't see a lot of her when we first started, and we cleared out a lot of the debris and everything, but basically there was one of those floors were about 18 inches of concrete, or maybe 12, but it was laying down at about a 45-degree angle. And then there was another floor that had collapsed, and it created a V, and at the V down here, she was folded up in this part right down in here, and everything had came down on top of her. It makes sense to what you said. You were at the front of the window, so you were down there, and by the grace of God didn't get caught in between there, and then everything else slid on down in there that was in that room. When we actually finally got Amy to where we could get her on a board and start trying to raise her up and everything, obviously I think you were as tired as we were. You were not as cheerful and everything, but you could just tell that
it hurt.
She was happy to be out. But the biggest problem was the position she was in when we straightened her out. I knew it had to hurt. Mm-hmm. You'd been there too long, and that's why we were in a hurry to get her to the ambulance and get her on to the hospital.
When they thought there was another bomb and they had to leave me, I had quite a bit of time where you have life flash before your eyes. And I'm thinking, this is it, my life is over. And I honestly had a lot of regrets, a lot. I hadn't lived my life on purpose. I was, obese. There were just things in my life that I hadn't done that I thought I needed to do. I made a promise right there to God that I was not going to live my life the same. And I have really held to that. I mean, I can't say that I live my life perfectly, no way, but I live it differently than I did before. And I just always have sort of this sense of, this is my second chance at life. During this whole episode, I made a very noble vow that I would make him cookies if he got me out alive. So I did buy the store-bought cookie dough and bake them myself in my oven, and I took them to the fire station. Almost 20 years later, here we are again, only I don't have cookies this time. Instead, this time I'm going to make him run the half marathon with me.
The bond from that day has remained strong, and so it is fitting that on this 20th anniversary of the bombing, Amy and Alan will come together once again. Sunday, they will run the half marathon at the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
I figure whenever I get too tired and have to start walking, she'll just slow down for me, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm more scared, I hope he doesn't run very fast. How cool if we can come together and run and celebrate the hope and the life and the positive, while remembering, obviously, the tragic events of that day. But we also have, a positive story too.